Hoyoverse is dangling over our heads, a region where Celestia's rule really doesn't reach. A place teeming with outlaws, forgotten relics, and a power unlike anything we've seen before. Welcome to Nodcry. From its untamed landscapes to its mysterious moon-worshipping cult, not gonna lie, I'm gonna be upset if this upcoming region isn't one of the most lore-packed and unpredictable places in Teyvat, because I'm finally starting to feel like we're actually close to uncovering the truth of this world. What if I told you that the people of Nodcry harness a power that potentially predates visions? That their power might come from the moon? That the Tore and the Fatui are already experimenting on it? And the best part, we'll be there soon. Today's video will contain everything we know about Nodcry and why this region might just change Genshin's story forever. I hope. I'm your Leafy Lorekeeper Minzlif, and I read the Genshin Impact lore so that you don't have to. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Opera GX, and if you haven't installed this amazing browser, then you're missing out on next level performance, customization, and efficiency. Opera GX is the game-changing browser built for gamers, anime lovers, and power users who want total control over their experience. Say goodbye to lag and slowdowns. The built-in RAM, CPU, and network limiters let you decide how much power your browser uses so your games, streams, and downloads run at full speed with zero interruptions. Worried about privacy? Opera GX's free built-in VPN ensures your browsing stays secure and anonymous, no extra extensions needed. But here's where things get even cooler. GX Mods 2.0 lets you customize everything from special splash screens to UI icons. Want a Genshin-themed browser with gacha sound effects and all? These endless customization options are possible with GX Mods. No pity system here, just pure aesthetic power in the palm of your hands. Love binge watching? The video pop-out feature lets you separate videos into a floating adjustable window. No more awkward alt-tabbing, your video stays right where you need it. And switching to Opera GX? Effortless. The built-in import tool lets you bring over all your bookmarks, browsing history, and even cookies from your old browser in seconds. Plus, Opera GX supports every single Chrome extension so you don't have to start from scratch. Download Opera GX today using the link in the description and the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much, Opera GX, for sponsoring today's video. Nodcry is located in the southernmost part of Snezhnaya and was first mentioned by generous Daddy Liban during the version 5.1's Marvelous Merchandise. Liban described Nodcry as a lawless frontier where people from all over Teyvat gather in search of fortune. But he also warns Traveler of the region's dangers. He himself was robbed there and had to have his goods retrieved by the Voynich Guild. Nodcry doesn't have formal courts of laws or authorities like the Knights of Favonius. Instead, they have the Voynich Guild. Other than Liban mentioning that the guild was rather generous when they retrieved his stolen goods and bought them off of him, we don't know much about them or if they're in cahoots with the Fatui. The Fatui have always been the strongest force in Snezhnaya, so it's no surprise that Fatui Harbinger Ildetore has a stronghold in Nodcry. And for good reason too. Nodcry is strange. Like, really strange. Apparently, according to Mawika, the people of Nodcry are able to use a special power that predates the 7 elements of Teyvat, potentially predating visions. And that's weird because what does that mean? This insinuates that Nodcry's inhabitants possess a power that's not like anything we've seen before. Or maybe we have seen it before. This power might have something to do with the Frost Moon Scions, whom we first hear about during the version 5.3 event on the Trails of Behemoths. Helka is an event-exclusive NPC and happens to be the first NPC from Nodcry that we meet. Helka belongs to a mysterious organization in Nodcry. A former adventurer named Katya raised her and several others. After experiencing the monsters that her area had to offer, Helka decided to leave to explore the monsters in other nations, posting a commission in the Adventurers Guild to obtain our help. According to Helka, the Frost Moon Scions live in the wilds of Nodcry and allegedly worship a moon deity whose statues are scattered throughout the land. Unlike the residents of Nasha Town, another area in Nodcry, the Frostmoon Scions lead a primitive lifestyle in forests and are considered a weird bunch by the locals. Helka claims to have seen the Frostmoon Scions do magic, presumably unlike any elemental art we've seen before. An ancient civilization obsessed with moon worship might sound familiar to you. If you're aware of Arlecchino's backstory, you know exactly where this is going. According to the lore tied to her story, an ancient dynasty in Conria once revered a celestial entity known as the Crimson Moon. a mysterious deity they desperately prayed to for salvation. They begged for descenders, beings from beyond Teyvat, to come to Khaenri'ah, transcend the gods, and rewrite fate itself. Arlecchino's very existence might be proof that remnants of this dynasty and its forbidden rituals are still lurking in Teyvat's shadows. And best of all, there might be more of these moon cults as far as Nodcry. From a young age, Arlecchino could wield a strange flame before she acquired her pyro delusion and pyrovision. Unlike normal pyro, this fire scars her body every time she uses it, leaving her limbs looking charred and branding her as cursed. Those killed by her flames don't just die, they leave behind after images. The echoes of their last screams haunted her dreams until she simply got used to them. According to her story quest, her cursed blood can be used as a potion that painfully erases memories so thoroughly that a person's old self is effectively killed, allowing them to live a new life. So where did she get these powers? Well, Piero seems to think the answer lies in the Fontaine book Paranhary. I'm going to quickly summarize the origin of Arlecchino's powers based off what we know from Paranhary and the Crimson Moon semblance. This section will contain theories and speculation since the intricacies of Arlecchino's origin story are still a mystery a la Khaenri'ah style. So please take it with a grain of
salt.
We're trying to deduce where Nodcry people get their powers from with the literal crumbs that we have. Arlecchino is a descendant of the Crimson Moon dynasty, an ancient era of Khaenri'ah that existed thousands of years ago. This doesn't mean she's ancient herself. Instead, the implication is that members of the Crimson Moon dynasty might still exist today, still practicing the forbidden ritual, which consequently imbues children with the Bale Moon blood fire. That very practice was considered too dangerous, even by Khaenri'ah standards, possibly leading to the dynasty's downfall. Now let's talk about the Frost Moon scions of Nodcry. They worship the Frost Moon, which already sounds eerily similar to the Crimson Moon dynasty's reverence for their own lunar deity. If their story follows a similar pattern, then there's a chance that they're also practicing ancient forbidden rituals, except their power might be cryo-based instead of pyro. Katya does warn Helka to stay away from the Frost Moon scions and their eerie moon statues, almost as if uncovering their secrets comes with consequences best left untouched. If Arlecchino's Bale Moon bloodfire can burn memories away, what if the Frost Moon's power can freeze something even deeper? Perhaps time itself? If Arlecchino's fire is unnatural, then what kind of twisted cryo abilities might the Frost Moon scions have? Could they erase emotions? Freeze death? Freeze time itself? One thing's for sure, these ancient lunar cults are hiding something. I mean, of course they are. And the deeper we dig, the more it feels like Arlecchino's curse is just the tip of the Frost Moon iceberg. The existence of the Frost Moon scion suggests that Teyvat's lunar mysteries run even deeper than we thought. We have the Crimson Moon, the Abyssal Moon, the Shattered Moon or the Ancient Moon in that land, and now we have the Frost Moon. The worship of moon deities in Teyvat traces all the way back to the three Moon Sisters, some of the oldest and most mysterious figures in the game's lore so far. If the Frost Moon scions and the people of Nodcry have inherited powers tied to an alleged Frost Moon, then clearly these lost moons still hold influence over Teyvat today. One of the other known settlements in Nodcry is Nasha Town, home to a group called the Speranza. According to Helka, if the traveler ever visits, they should seek out her mentor Katya within the Speranza, hinting that this group might be the secret organization dedicated to researching monsters and ancient phenomena. But the real mystery lies beyond the town. Somewhere in Nodcry, there's an island where the Frost Moon scions gather. This island is apparently covered in ruins reminiscent of the secret source automatons. There's a possibility that the secret source automatons originated from ancient dragon technology, and honestly, it'd be cool if we got some lore crumbs about the Cryo Dragon Sovereign in Nodcry. Recently, Nodcry has become even more dangerous than usual. The Fatui seem to be tightening their grip on the region with large-scale construction projects underway and none other than Il Dottore running a stronghold there as well. Moiko warns the traveler that direct conflict with the Fatui is unavoidable the moment you step foot in Snezhnaya. And in Nodcry, Dottore's subordinates are already swarming the area. His objective might involve the Ancient Moon's remnants still floating ominously in Natlan sky. This seems way more large-scale than his usual experiments. Dottore, the Ancient Moon's remnants, and the mysterious power lurking in Nodcry may all be a part of a much larger, more sinister plan. The question is, what exactly is the Fatui building? So we've got Dottore's stronghold, the Fatui potentially up to no good, and an entire cult of moon worshippers. But you know what's even worse, or better, depending on your perspective, than having Dottore as our next big antagonist? The fact that he might not be the only one. There's still Columbina, Miss Seelie herself. If the Seelie race has any connection to moon worship and the lost lunar deities, then you can bet we haven't seen the last of her. There's also Rayrir of Solnadi, one of the 5 sinners of Conria whose name literally translates to the Avenger of the Moon. I think it'd be really appropriate for him to show up in a nation mired in moon-related mysteries. If Rayrir is a Nodcry, then we're not just dealing with the Fatui. We're looking at something, hopefully, more dangerous. With the release of Nodcry later this year, we could be on the verge of finally uncovering what really happened to the ancient moons of Teyvat. Or are we about to wake something up that was meant to stay asleep? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you again, Opera GX, for sponsoring today's video. I'm your Leafy Lore Keeper Minzliff, and I read the Genshin Impact lore so that you don't have to.